Canadians, we need to wake the fuck up now. We're being replaced in our own country, and the worst thing is we are paying for it. Before I get into it, if you're interested, hit the join button. You'll help form this movement, the Take Canada Back movement. First rally, Saturday, September 13th, Parliament Hill, noon. We need patriotic Canadians on the streets, making our displeasure heard to this government that is literally treasonous, traitorous, and selling us out every second of the day. We are currently allowing in Canada over 1,200 immigrants into the country a day. Over 1,200. We've allowed in nearly 8 million invaders in the past decade. Well, every single statistic in terms of our GDP, our housing market, our healthcare have gone down the shitter. Liberals are selling us out like no government I have ever seen before in my entire life. They cloak it in this empathetic bullshit. How about having some empathy for the Canadian citizens that have been sold down the river at every turn for the past decade? The primary responsibility of any government is to look after the citizens who live in that country. We are getting the exact opposite of that from the Canadian government. Right now, if you're 2S LGBTQ community refugee, the Canadian government, our tax dollars, will pay for you to come to Canada for an entire year paid if you're a member of the 2S LGBTQ community. Meanwhile, we have 2 million Canadians using a food bank every goddamn day. Shouldn't we be paying for our Canadians using a goddamn food bank every day before we worry about giving refugees a free year? Refugees are also eligible for up to $283 a day when they're in Canada. We have millions of Canadians below the poverty line. Our government literally hates us and is getting us to pay for our own replacement. Anybody who walks around a Canadian street nowadays knows how extreme the shift has been in this past decade. It's unimaginable 10 years ago that our country would look like what it does right now. Our culture is being literally eradicated. They are erasing it. They're trying to erase our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Freedom of expression only exists if you're a left-winger now. If you buy into the woke ideology, go ahead, express yourself. Otherwise, you're looking at a long prison sentence. They are wiping Trudeau started with the wiping of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and Carney is now here to sell us down the river completely. A couple of the bills he's working on, C2, C4, more extreme than the Patriot Act. They allow the Canadian government to intercept any digital communications of any Canadian, open mail without us being aware of it, and absolving the Liberal Party of any misuse of our data going back to the year 2000. These are tyrannical methods. 75% of the Canadian people say, enough immigration. We cannot withstand anymore right now. Any reasonable government that gave one iota of a shit about its people would be saying, no, if anything, we need to be getting people out of this country who have arrived. We don't need to be bringing more people in. But what does our government do? Mark Carney serves the interest of Brookfield Asset Management, the WF Davos. All they give two shits about is the top 0.01%. Brookfield owns $37 billion worth of assets in Canada, more than doubled since 2015. Mark Carney is here to serve the interests of Brookfield. And basic supply and demand economics, you flood the zone with supply. Who gives a shit about the living standards of the middle and lower class Canadians? Those Brookfield assets are continuing to go up and up and up. When are Canadians going to learn? The Liberal government, if we continue with this leadership for another couple of years, the Canada that our ancestors fought and died for is going to be gone for good. They're already erasing it. It's already in many ways ceasing to exist. But if we continue on this current trajectory like this, absolute batshit crazy century initiative that says by the year 2100, we need to have 100 million people in Canada. They are trying to erase our history, erase the land that our ancestors fought to defend. This is an invasion, but it's an invasion that is sponsored by the Canadian government, which is what makes it so unique. Usually you have the enemies of the state outside of your barriers. In Canada right now, they're inside of our barriers. Mark Carney and the woke Liberals hate everyday Canadians. Look what they did to the Freedom Convoy. Look what they did during COVID. You're allowed to right now, every single day, there are huge groups of people marching around yelling vile anti-Western rhetoric, rolling fake body bags down the street. What do they get? They get the red carpet treatment from our government. Patriotic Canadians come out to protest for their charter rights and freedoms. They are shut down immediately. I've applied for my permit for Saturday, September 13th. They still haven't got back to me. It's been weeks. The Canadian government has become as tyrannical as, I'm not going to say any government in the world, because we're not quite at China or Russia yet, but we're getting a hell of a lot closer to them than the vast majority of Canadian people are willing to acknowledge. Led by Mark Carney, our government continues to get more and more authoritarian. If you don't fall in line with their whacked out, woke, liberal ethos that has drug addicts on every street corner smoking crack thanks to their safe supply, you walking around today's society in Canada feeling as though you're in a clown world. If you haven't been to Canada in a couple of years and you show up here, I've heard people say, what the hell is going on? Because it's literally as though you're walking around in clown world. And look no further than our past two prime ministers, Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney, sell us out every single time that I can to get themselves richer and to push their far left-wing garbage that divides the Canadian people more than any two prime ministers I've ever seen in my life. It's time for the Canadian people to stand up and say enough is enough. I'm a proud patriotic Canadian. I will no longer endorse the invasion of my country. I will stand up for my right to speak my mind. Saturday, September 13th, Take Canada Back rally, noon. Message me if you're interested for more information. Please, if you're interested, join. You'll be privy to early information, exclusive videos, and help mold this movement. Like, subscribe. If you're on TikTok, make sure you're following me on YouTube, because I'm over 10K. And the Canadian government does not like dissidents very much. If you notice, we're going to have to fight to take this country back.